Hey everybody, it's Brooke with The Buttered Home and welcome to my messy kitchen. Today we have an easy and delicious keto dirty cauliflower rice recipe to share with you. You will want to write this one down or print the recipe because you will be making this on repeat. So stay with us. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of our ingredients while I heat up my pan. So to a pan, well, let me start from the beginning. I have already cooked a half a pound of lean ground beef and a half a pound of lean ground chicken, and I've drained it. And we've set that aside. And we brown that in 1 tablespoon of olive oil. So to our pan, we have added another tablespoon of olive oil, and we're just going to cook this over medium-low heat. Now, one of the things that I wanted to mention, I'm using a frozen cauliflower rice. We use about 1.5 cups. That's usually what comes, 1.5 to 2 cups comes in a frozen bag. And all I do is just take it out and then I thaw it and drain it really well. Now to our hot pan, we're going to add 1/2 cup of diced onion, and you'll notice that I have diced all of my vegetables pretty small because I want them all to be about the same size as my cauliflower rice, or not much bigger. And then we have 1/2 cup of diced celery and 1/2 cup of diced green pepper. And we're just going to cook that over about medium heat in that olive oil just until they get soft, which usually takes anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. Now we won't want to season at this point. As a matter of fact, when I cooked the ground chicken and I cooked the ground beef, I did not season it either. Now you're welcome to, but since we were draining everything, I didn't want to drain all my seasonings away because this is a dirty rice recipe, so the seasoning is really what sets it apart. And this is one of those recipes where, you know, you think that it's a ton of things that you have to add, but it's like most buttered home recipes, it's going to be pantry staple items. Now, there are 2 schools of thought on cooking your vegetables. You can cook them until the onions are real translucent and very soft if you don't like a lot of texture here. But to me, dirty rice is all about the difference in textures. And so we only want to just sweat these out just a little bit for me. A lot of times, in Cajun or Creole cooking, they just cook the vegetables just enough just to release the aromatics. So we're going to try to mimic that today. And one good way to tell if you've done that, cooked it enough, is if your olive oil is pretty much gone because your vegetables have soaked it up. Now we're going to add a lot more to this to make it really nice. Now when you get to the end of cooking your vegetables how you want them, then we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. And I like to use fresh minced garlic. So if you're using a dried minced garlic, you want to add that with the vegetables. If you're using a fresh minced garlic like I am, you want to add that at the end because it will burn. And we just want to cook that for just a minute along with our vegetables, just to release those flavors. Okay, now we're going to add in our cauliflower rice, and I have about 1.5 cups. And the great thing about recipes like this is you can add more or less to your taste or the size of your pan. All of these type of one-pot recipes are really good and easy to size up or size down. Now we're just going to cook that just for a minute and let those flavors kind of meld with that cauliflower rice. Now, I love to make riced cauliflower on my own, and it's really easy. You can find that recipe and this one over at thebutteredhome.com, and I show you a little trick on using or making your own riced cauliflower in the blender with water. So be sure and check that out. That's on our cauliflower breadcrumbs recipe, which is more really a cooking method than it is a recipe, but I guess it's a recipe because I season them, right? All right, so we have cooked those together for just a minute. And now I am going to add in my meat that I drained. And like I said, this is ground chicken and like really lean ground beef. I really didn't have to drain it because it really didn't cook off hardly any liquid whatsoever. But I like to do a lot of things ahead of time, and this is certainly one that you can do these things ahead of time. Now, I know what you're thinking, why aren't we adding any liquid to this? Well, because it's not real rice. It's cauliflower rice. And cauliflower, no matter how well you drain it, it's gonna cook off its own liquid. Because one of the reasons that vegetables are so good for you is because they're like us. They're made up mostly of water. So you get a lot of natural hydration whenever you cook with a lot of vegetables, and we just won't need a lot of liquid in this one. Now I'm going to turn our heat down a little closer to low, and we're just going to let that simmer while we add our seasonings. So to begin with, I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of oregano. I'm gonna also add in a little cayenne pepper, probably about 1/4 of a teaspoon. Now this is one of those seasonings that you have to do you, okay? We like things a little spicy, but especially if you're cooking for a crowd. If you're cooking for a crowd, I would either leave it out or just use very little, like 1/4 of a pinch. But this is dirty rice, right? So we want it to be have a little kick to it. Then we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of chili powder, because that'll give us that smoky flavor without all the heat, as well as 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and it'll do the same. So if you're not used to using smoked paprika, it's Hungarian paprika, and it has a nice little smoky flavor to it. Now we're going to add in a little salt, probably about 1 teaspoon. And you notice we're adding the salt whenever we are adding all of the other seasonings, because we want that to come together really nice. Now for a little bit more garlic, we're going to add in about 1 teaspoon of garlic. And we're going to give that a nice mix as I make a mess and get those seasonings all married in with that cauliflower and the meat mixture. And this next ingredient is also optional, but I think that it makes a big difference in your flavor. And we're going to be adding in 1 bay leaf. And I'm going to use just like a small kind of bay leaf. And we just want to bury him in there. Try not to crush him. Just kind of fold him in and let him rehydrate with all that good stuff going on in the pan. Now what I would suggest is let this cook for just a few minutes and then taste it and make sure that your seasonings are where you want them. We're going to let this guy simmer for about 6 to 8 minutes, just until it's cooked down a bit and all of those flavors have married. Then we're going to take out the bay leaf, we're going to garnish it with parsley, and we are going to serve it and enjoy it. So stay with us. We are back. We finished a 6 to 8 minute cook time. I could smell and tell, and I also got my trusty spoon and I tasted it, and my seasoning was spot on. For me, seasonings are easily adjusted for your taste as well, but before you finish that 6 to 8 minute cooking process, make sure you take a little bit out and taste it and make sure you don't need to add any more. If you're worried about putting too much in there, always err on the side of caution and add small amounts before you add more. So let's just take a look at how gorgeous this is. I mean, it looks just like regular dirty rice. So I'm just gonna sneak in and get that bay leaf out and set him to the side. Now, I have already dished me some out because it's hot. It's very hot, like I literally just finished cooking it. But let's give it a taste and see how it measures up to the real thing. Okay, you can probably see the steam coming off of it. It looks right, it smells right. Let's see if it tastes right. Oh, it's so good. Adding all that seasoning in when we're doing the simmer process is perfection. It keeps all of those flavors fresh and alive in the dish, and it's absolutely perfect. You're gonna wanna make this on repeat. You get a protein in here, actually 2 proteins in here that help make it healthy. You're getting several servings of, or probably 1 to 2 whole servings of your vegetables without even realizing it. And that cauliflower, you don't even taste it. All it does is add a beautiful rice-like texture to the dish. This is how you substitute for the things that you love, right? I talk a lot about that 80-20 rule. And you can cook like this really easily, and you're getting your vegetables in, and you're also watching what you're doing, so that if you do want real dirty rice with the rice included, you can have that another time. But if you're watching what you're doing, or you're trying to get more vegetables in your diet, this is the way to go, and it's substitutions that you won't even miss. This recipe, like all of our others, can be found over at thebutteredhome.com. We hope that you will try it out and like it just as much as we do. And y'all, if you aren't already, make sure you're following us on all of our social channels. We have a really good time, and we would love for you to be with us wherever we are. Also, if you want all of our videos in one convenient place, make sure that you head over to YouTube and you search for The Buttered Home. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so that you can be notified when we drop new videos like this one. Y'all, we love y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for watching and being here with us today at our new studio. From our messy kitchen to yours, we sure love y'all. Bye.